up later.
Who's glad to be here this morning? I am. No one else? Here we go, Marissa.
Go. Oh, I'm excited. Okay. Hey, did anybody do anything fun for Halloween? Build a snow fort?
Yeah,
What'd you do?
It snowed on Halloween this year.
And Hayden came and saw you. Oh.
We had like a few inches of snow on Halloween.
I know, it's crazy. Crazy. All right, guys. Well, hey, we have a game to play this morning.
Oh, I love this one. You guys know the game called Head, Shoulder, Knees, and Toes plus Cup. You guys know how to play that game?
Do you guys remember this game?
He does.
All right. I need 2 volunteers to help show how to do this.
I got one right here.
Okay, 1, 2. Wait, it's your birthday? Oh my gosh. It's okay. Here. Maybe she'll win. She's being so sweet. Do you want to come up here? Okay. All right, tell us your name and your grade.
Josh, 8th grade.
Ellery, 6th.
Ooh, 8th grade versus 6th grade. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna put a cup down here. You guys know how to play this? Oh, really? All right, so we're gonna say something like head, shoulders, knees, toes. And if you have to put your hand on those parts of your body. And then when we say cup, you're trying to grab the cup first. If you grab the cup, then you win. This is just to show you all how to play this because we're all gonna play this in about 30 seconds.
All right, ready? Head, shoulders, knees, shoulders, head, toes, head, cup.
Oh, all right. All right, let's give him a round of applause. That's how you play, okay?
You guys ready to play?
All right, so everybody get up. Everybody get up, find a partner, come and get a cup for you and your partner.
And then cups are up here, so just grab one cup.
Partner. Everybody needs one. If you do not know the person you're partnering with, introduce yourself to them. Leaders, you can play too. All right, does everybody have a partner in a cup? Oh. We're gonna start in 10 seconds.
Find a spot in the room. All right, is everyone ready?
All right, here we go.
All right, we're starting now. Ready? Head, shoulders, knees, head, toes, shoulders, shoulders, cup.
All right, if you won, then find another partner. If you lost, take a seat. Who needs a partner? Right here.
All right, right here.
All right, who needs a partner still? Lane, oh, right here, here. She needs one. Okay, ready?
Oh, wait, over there.
Set, head, shoulders, knees, toes, head, cup. If you won, find a new partner. If you lost, grab a seat.
Getting closer and closer. Is everyone ready? Oh, okay, so we need a partner over here. Ready? Head. Wait. Pause. Okay, there we go. Ready? False alarm, false alarm. All right, ready? Cabeza. I'm kidding. Head, shoulders, knees, toes, knees, toes, shoulder, head, shoulder, knees, go. All right, guys, find a partner. We're getting closer and closer to the final round. Who's gonna win?
All right, find your partner if you don't have one. Find a partner. Ready?
Is everyone ready? Head, shoulders, knees, toes, head, toes, knees, shoulders, head, shoulders. Go!
All right, if you are still in, come up on stage.
Come on
Find a
up.
partner. Find a partner. Everybody have a
Find a
partner.
partner.
Wait, are you still in? I don't believe that you're still in. All right, here we go.
All right. Guys ready? Head, shoulders, toes, knees, shoulders, head, knees, go.
Oh. All right, who's still in?
There.
Who's still in? All right, find a partner.
All right. Are you guys ready? Toes, shoulders, knees, head, knees, shoulders, toes, head, knees, toes, head, shoulders, knees, toes, go!
Oh, to the ladies! The ladies! Dominant!
Final two. Okay.
And they're
What's
like
your name and
BFFs.
your grade?
Wait, I'm Allie. I'm 7th grade.
Kaylin, 7th.
Wow.
Same small group. Who's gonna win? Ready? Are you guys ready?
All right, get in the middle here. All right.
Final round. Oh, good
Okay.
sportsmanship.
Good sportsmanship,
Okay, here we
yeah.
go. Head, knees, shoulders, knees, toes, head, shoulders, knees, toes, head, shoulders, head, knees, go.
All right, you
Give it
guys
up
can
for
share
them.
that. Give it up, Kaylin.
Who had fun? I know, that was pretty fun. That was intense.
That was
Got the blood flowing.
lady power.
So we have some announcements for you guys coming up. The first one is baptism, right?
Yeah. So we have baptism coming up. Hey, I'm curious, how many of you guys have been baptized before? Awesome. So baptism, if you are new to the church or maybe you haven't seen this before, but this is something that once you hit middle school, this is a decision that we think you're old enough to make for yourself. And really, it's just a decision to say, I want to follow Jesus with my life. I want to give him my life first and foremost. Ken's going to talk about that this morning. But some of you guys have maybe made that decision. You know that you want to follow Jesus, but maybe you haven't made the decision to be baptized. And if that is you, I would encourage you to think about baptism. In the New Testament, whenever someone made a decision to follow Jesus, the very first thing they do would be baptized. And we really think it's an important decision for you to make for yourself. A lot of us have grown up with families that are Christian, but we want this to be your decision. And so if you have any questions about this, if you maybe think it might be a good next step for you, please talk to your small group leader. They would love to talk you through what this decision looks like, or you can come and find either myself or Ken or anyone on staff, and we'll help you learn how to get registered and what that could look like. But we're really excited for this. This is coming up in a couple weeks. We want to make sure you guys have enough time to get registered. So that is November 24th.
It's a great opportunity we guys missing out on. It's a great first step into faith. And when I was baptized, my life was just changed. So if you have any questions, just talk to Rachel, your smart group leader, or anything like that. Our next announcement is Breakaway. That's coming up this Friday. We're almost there. Who's going to Breakaway? Raise your hand. Yeah. Let's go! It's going to be an awesome time. We leave this Friday, November 8th. Check-in here is at 5 p.m., so be here at 5. And please bring a dinner for the bus, because we're eating that night. So there's Pekka dinner you can eat on the bus. Also, I highly recommend bringing some warm clothes. It's going to be cold out there. It's going to be like 23 degrees. So bring a jacket, bring some socks and gloves, and bring a flashlight too, because it's going to be dark. There's a lot of other things you need, but there's going to be an email sent out to you guys soon.
Yeah, so that is when? This Friday. What time do you need to be here? 5 p.m., right? 5 p.m. Don't be late. We're leaving at 6, so we want to make sure you guys get here. And like Michael said, make sure you pack accordingly, because it's going to be really cold. So last year, if you went, you remember it was freezing when we went on the high ropes course. We want to make sure you guys are prepared. All right? That is coming up. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Also, we have something going on right now called Journey Through Philippians. So how many of you guys have been able to read through some of the Philippians journey? Awesome. That's great. I want to remind you guys that we not only are just reading to read and know Jesus more, but also there's a challenge going on with Journey Through Philippians. So if you guys finish Journey Through Philippians, then if 100 of you finish with this service and the earlier service, then we are going to get a donut party on in a couple weeks when we're done with Journey Through Philippians, and Ken's going to get his armpits waxed. So
yeah, I want to see that. I don't know about you guys.
I want to see it happen. So that's one major factor in why I'm reading.
Donut party. Yeah.
It'll be awesome, but it's not going to happen if you guys don't read. So make sure and finish that. Show your small group leader what's happening, and that is what we got.
That's it.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah, we can. Thank you, Josh. Listen, here's what I was thinking. Does anyone here actually really want to see me get my armpits waxed? Like, that's gross, right? What if we switch it? What if we like dye Rachel's hair bright orange? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be so much cooler if like Rachel had to walk around with bright orange hair? What does her pregnancy have to do with her hair? The chemicals, you can do it, right? Listen, the baby will come out just with North Shore then. Like it'll just know that it belongs to the North Shore. Yeah.
What if you let everyone bring a Nerf gun and we all got to shoot you a billion times? Save your hair!
No. Yeah, true. All right, well, either way, just read scripture. No one wants to see me get my armpits waxed. It's gross. I need some deodorant. Yeah. Okay. So, who here went trick or treating? Yeah. Okay. Listen, Halloween is a pretty cool deal, but after Halloween, that's when I'm super excited because the greatest holiday of all time is coming up after Halloween. It's Thanksgiving. Okay? It blows Christmas out of the water, all right? No. I understand that. I understand that Jesus was born. I get maybe the resurrection of Easter. But listen, Thanksgiving has football. It has food. It has family. It has friends. And then I can take a nap, okay? I can take a nap after, and it's like, you eat pie. Who doesn't here like pumpkin pie? It's the greatest, yeah. Pumpkin pie is delicious, okay? But my favorite thing about Thanksgiving is obviously being with family. But who here knows what happens after Thanksgiving? Black Friday. Does anybody here go shopping on Black Friday? Cyber Monday. He just screams. Wild scene back there. All right. Listen. Shopping to me is the worst thing in the world. It's fun for you guys because your parents pay the bill. Okay? You go shopping and you come home and you just get things. When you're my age, you have to spend money, and then your bank account goes from like here to like here. Okay? You do have to be wise in what you buy. But I hate Black Friday because A, I don't like shopping, and B, there's some crazies that come out during Black Friday. Have you ever been with that? Yeah. So maybe you've never gone Black Friday shopping. That's okay. I would never encourage you to do it. But people make videos of what it's like. So check out what Black Friday is really like. We just love people, don't we? Just fight over goods, whatever's in there. I don't think people know what even is in the bag. They're just grabbing. We just love. That guy's stealing a purse. Look at him. This is my favorite. Little right hook, left hook. Yes. It's not Black Friday unless you punch somebody in the face. This is an all-mall experience where they're literally all fighting each other off of goods. Look at this. SpongeBob, you see the SpongeBob shirt? Yes. No one's fighting over that though. Yeah, my TV. This is my favorite because we know where this is at. This is here. This old boy's rocking a Chicago Bears shirt while he just rips away a TV. That's Black Friday shopping. Yeah! It's the worst. Okay? Here's what I love about Black Friday. In one moment, we are all sitting around a table telling each other what we're grateful for. Like, oh, I just love you. Family's the best. You mean so much to me. And then 12 hours later, we are fighting and throat punching and just grabbing whatever we can get. What I love about it is the people who Black Friday shop, they walk into that store and they go, there is something that is super important to me. And it's so important that I will literally fight my way to get it. And while we here, none of us here are like that, right? We're all kind, loving people. We would never do such a thing. We would never throw a punch. We love Jesus. We're all about love. It's great. But what I'm going to imagine is that every single one of us in this room, even though we don't get caught on TV going crazy, every single one of us has something that is valuably important to us. That we would do whatever it would take to hold on to. We would do whatever it would take to get. I think every single one of us right now has something that is the most important thing to us. And I want to take a list. My man over there said one. Lost the cap. The thing that was most important to me when I was a middle school kid was this right here. Xbox 360, okay? If this Xbox was taken away from me, which my mom did often because I played it a lot, I would have a meltdown, okay? Meltdown. Talking about like, it was bad, okay? It was really bad. This, I would argue, is probably one of the most important things to me, okay? I loved Xbox. It was my favorite thing. The second thing that was like, that I loved, or I wanted to get, is this. I wanted a good reputation. Because a lot of the things I think that are most important to us, sometimes are material things, but sometimes there's something we want to obtain, or some type of status. And so for you guys right now, wherever you're at, what is the most important thing to you? That if it was taken away from you, I want you to think, if there was anything that was taken away from you, you would like, there would be a problem. Family? Okay. Family, totally. What else? Church. Friends. Food. What else? Huh? What? Lungs? Like your lungs? Yeah, that would, your life. That's good. Sneakers? You love sneakers that much that if sneakers are taken away from you, you'd be in meltdown mode. I love it. Sneakers. I think that's how you spell sneakers. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah. What's the most important thing to you? People. Okay. All right, we catch that, family, friends. Money. That's the most important thing to you. My money. Anyone here like grades? Oh, you have something? What? Your iPad. If that was taken from you, your iPad was gone, you'd be like, whoa, issue. I love it. I know how to spell TikTok. I'm in the know, okay? Okay, all right. I also think, some of you won't say this, but I think there are people in middle school, they strive after popularity. I heard you, bro. I got you. Sit down. Sit down. Unbelievable. Losing his mind. Yeah. YouTube. You know, I looked at my cousin's iPhone. She spends like hours. I think if I looked at all your screen times, your YouTube would be through the roof. Fortnite, remember Fortnite too? When Fortnite was taken away for those days, everyone lost it. All right? So, you did really good. Come back in with me. Come back in with me. All right. I love it. We're super energetic. Come on in. Come on in. All right. All right. Everyone take a deep breath. Ready? And then deep breath out. We're getting a little crazy, okay? We're like the people in the video. Take a chill pill, you know what I'm saying? All right, so these are the things that are most important to us. That if we lost them, we would have an issue. For every single one of us that may be different, that may come out in different ways. I had the Xbox, for you it may be friends, all these things. And if you were reading or have been reading, or going to join us in reading this week, there's a guy named Paul, who writes the book of Philippians, also does something similar like this in chapter 3. Because he's going to make a point. I want to talk about and ask the question, is this what life is all about? Like, are these things supposed to be the most important things to us? Absolutely. Or is there something more important? And so Paul is going to give you a list of the things that were most important to him. The things that he puts on for his value. And so a little disclaimer, this was written like 2,000 years ago, so it's going to sound a little bit different than our list. He did not have iPads. He probably thought this was a wild thing, my man over there. But this is what he said, okay? So I'm going to read it. I underline the stuff that he deems very important to him, okay? This is what it says. If someone else thinks they have reasons to put confidence in the flesh, Paul says, I have more. He says he was circumcised on the 8th day. Yikes. Wild thing to be excited about. He's from the people of Israel. He's from the tribe of Benjamin. And Paul says, like, I'm a Hebrew of Hebrews. Basically, like, where I come from, I have value. My origin of family gives me, like, the most value. I'm a Hebrew. And then he continues. He says, in regard to the law, your boy is a Pharisee, which basically means I know a little bit more than you. I have done the scholarly work. I know scripture. I know the law back and forth. Okay? That makes me on another level. He then says, as for zeal, which is like passion, I persecuted the church. I'm a passionate person. I believe what I'm going to believe in. And as for righteousness based on law, this is my favorite one. He says, as the righteousness, if you think about the law and the rules and the guidelines that we all have, Paul says he was faultless. Mic drop moment, okay? Old boy was like, if you think you followed the law, bro, I was faultless. I am on a whole nother level. If you think that you're important, I have some things that sets me apart. And just like us, I think we do the same thing. We look at some of these things and we use these things to set us apart from the people in our school or our friends. And we deem them of importance enough to where we will fight for them, just like the people in the video. Even though we may not be actively like throat punching people and like going to Black Friday, we try to get these things. Because if we get these things, they mean something to us. It's like if we actually achieve church and family and friends, we have good reputation, if we have these things, they're going to make us valuable. They're the things that are most important to us. But what Paul is going to say right after this is something that is completely different. Because Paul does not believe that these things make up what life is all about. He thinks there's a deeper meaning. And that's where we're going to continue. In the next line, he says this. He says, but whatever were gains to me, I now consider a loss for the sake of Christ. What is more, I consider everything a loss because of the surpassing worth of knowing Jesus Christ my Lord, for whose sake I have lost all things. I consider them, the things that we just talked about, the things that we just identified that Paul says, I consider them garbage, that I may gain Christ and be found in him, not having a righteousness of my own that comes from the law, but that which is through faith in Christ, the righteousness that comes from God on the basis of faith. Paul says all these things that we are striving after, the things that we deem most important, the things that he would consider the most valuable in his life, he would say that compared to knowing Jesus, they belong in the trash. Like in comparison to knowing God, this huge gap, they belong into what he would say would be garbage. Like all this stuff that we deem to be the most important stuff to us in the world, Paul's like, you guys don't get it. This is not what life is supposed to be about. Church is the one exception. I'll explain, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, I see where you're going there. I'll explain it. All right? Now, Paul says that the most important thing in life is knowing Jesus. You even say church. Church is a great example. Like this place, the church building is of importance. We would all say it. But knowing Jesus is more important than just the building. Having a relationship with the Most High God is the most important thing that we can all go after. Now, a great example like the church. The church is a good thing. Would we say yes? Yes. Absolutely. There's a lot of good things on the list we had. Friends was a good thing. Family was a good thing. Okay, I want to be very clear with you. Paul is not saying that family or friends or church is a bad thing. He's not saying that it's like trash. What he's doing is he's comparing it. So think of it like your GPA. Okay, who here tries to go after that 4.0 GPA? Okay, let's go. What Paul would say about that is probably this. He would say, Elevate student, I want you to learn. Paul's probably like, yeah, go. It's like, learn. Fill your brain with the knowledge so that you can go out and build the kingdom. Like Elevate student, continue to do that. Continue to value school. But if school gets in the way of you following Jesus, Paul would probably say that is where it becomes an issue. That's where it's different. It's not that school is bad. Learning is good. But if it stops you from knowing Jesus, if it stops you from getting to that point, if it stops you from knowing the Most High God and having a relationship with Him, then I think Paul would say it's time to reassess your priorities. It's time to take a second and to reassess what's really going on in your heart. For me, when I was in middle school, like we talked about this Xbox, this to me was my most important thing. And I know that seems pretty lame. It sounds really lame when I say it out loud, but this probably was the most important thing to me. I loved playing Halo. Any Halo guys out there? People? Yeah? Let's go. Okay? Video games are legit. I think for you, the way I see you on your phones, video games are probably most important to you too. But, yeah, factual. Okay? Here's the thing. I spent so much time on this because really what I was struggling with was time. Time was the thing that was most important to me, and it was my time. So when I came from school, I played Xbox, but then I had to do schoolwork. So when my mom came home from work, I'd be like, oh, well, I should put this away, make it look like I was doing homework the whole time. So I pull out my homework, I'd do some homework, and she was like, oh, you're doing it, it's great. And then I would go play Xbox after, because I was sneaky like that. And then at the end of the day, like, where did Jesus come into any of it? And the reality was, he didn't. Like, I had put so many other priorities ahead of God. I had put playing Xbox and all that stuff ahead of knowing God. And I think Paul would tell me, like, okay, Kenny, this Xbox, it'd probably blow his mind because he'd be like, wait, what are you doing? This is like a video game console that, like, crazy. But I think what he would tell me is like, okay, like being and having fun, like I like having fun too. And like having fun and doing those things is like a really good thing. We all need that as human beings. But if this thing is getting in your way of knowing Jesus, like you got to reassess. Maybe it in your brain deserves to be just knocked down a level. Because trash to us is like the lowest of lows. And sometimes the things that we deem so important to us have to take the place of trash, not because they are trash, but because valuing God is just that much greater. Being in a relationship and knowing who God is that much greater. And I want to be very honest with you. I think most of you come into church, and I did this too as a kid, where I knew that answer. I went to prom, well, I didn't go to Promised Land, but like I went to my early childhood, I walked with the church, I did all those things. My mom was talking about Jesus, I went to the middle school stuff, I went to high school, and I heard the answer, like Jesus is the answer to all of this. But that knowledge only stayed up here. For me, it never sank to my heart. I never lived it out. You know what I'm saying by that? Like, I never took the knowledge and having an actual relationship with Jesus to live that out. I just knew that he was like a good thing. And so I went and did all this stuff I wanted to do, and I never put Jesus in any of my schedule. Like I had no time. So if I looked at my schedule, anyone, if they looked at what I did, they would say, you probably prioritize Xbox, because most of my time went to Xbox. Where our time goes is normally what we prioritize. And so I want, and we want, the church, like all of us, to know who God is. Paul wants that for you. He's like, Elevate student, I want you to know the joy and the fulfillment and the purpose that you will only get from knowing who God is and actually having a relationship with him. And so to do that, I want to give us a little challenge. And so wherever you're at, maybe you said it when we were like naming some of the things that are most important to you. I want you right now, wherever you're sitting, I want you to identify what the most important thing to you is. What is the most important thing to you? Maybe it's friends, maybe it's family, maybe it's your reputation or your popularity. What's the most important thing that you hold? And then the second thing I want you to think about is, what would it look like to prioritize Jesus over that thing? What would it look like to prioritize Jesus over your popularity, over your material things like getting an iPhone, over friends, over family? And I'll be honest with you again, that's like the hardest thing. It's like super difficult to think about, like, what does it mean to actually prioritize Jesus over something like my friends? And so just a quick tip, like something that I would do if you're like, I don't really know how to do that. You all have different things that are most important to you. But one of the things that I would do is I would take a look at your schedule of your time and just very clearly be like, okay, am I actually spending time with God? Or is my priority system listing everything else above it? Because if you want to know God, if you want to know the God that Paul is talking about, you've got to give him the time and the priority to be with him. It's just like a relationship with a friend or a family member. Like, you got to spend time with God. We all have to do that. We all have to spend time with the Most High God to know him, to be around it, to be worshiping and praying. So that's the thing. Maybe for you, it's just looking at your schedule and saying, where can I actually put Jesus first? Where can I put him into my schedule to say, every single day or every single week, I am going to pen this into my schedule, that an Xbox or friends or family is not going to touch the time that I have with God. And every single one of you have different things. That's something that probably was a great next conversation in small group. Like, talk to your small group about what's most important to you, and then maybe you could talk and converse about, how do I actually make Jesus your number one thing? Because every single one of you have different things, and it's going to look different for all of us. But just to think through and be like, okay, how do I begin to actually know who God is? You guys, if we do this, if we as people do this, you're going to experience a joy and a fulfillment and a purpose that all these things like an Xbox and friends and family will not give you. It will give you tastes of it, but knowing God is the thing that will change your life forever. Knowing and being in a relationship with God will give you the things that you are actually searching for. You want purpose? Be in a relationship with God. He will give you a purpose. You want to know who you are? Be in a relationship with God. He will tell you who you are to him. He will show you. It's the greatest gift that you could ever get, is being in a relationship with the Most High God. And I know that's challenging. I know sometimes we struggle to be like, what does that actually look like? But that's the challenge that Paul gives us. Paul says, you know what, guys? All these things that we deem so important, when compared to knowing Christ, they're like garbage. They're not garbage, but they're when you look at it compared to it, man, Jesus is so much greater. It's so much better. And Paul was writing this as a person who was in prison. When he wrote these words, he lost everything. The only thing that Paul had at the end was his relationship with Jesus. And he's looking at us and he's writing the church and he's saying, guys, I found it. I found the true meaning. The true meaning of life is to be in a relationship with God. It's the greatest thing I've ever had. I had all these things. I was a Hebrew. I was a Pharisee. I was righteous in the law. And now I'm sitting in a prison. I have nothing. But guess what? Jesus is the best thing I've ever had. And it changed his life forever, and it'll change your life too. Know who God is and know that he is better than anything else that we can possibly get. God, we just thank you so much for your son. God, we thank you for what it means to know you. God, there's so many times in my own brain, I just don't understand what it means to actually follow you, to be in a relationship with you, God. And so just us as a community, we just want to come before you and say, God, we want to know you. We want to know you like Paul knew you. We want to know you like Jesus knew you. God, you are just such a gift to us. You do so much for us. And God, you just simply ask for us to be in a relationship with you. God, I pray for our hearts, the things that we deem most important. God, I pray you bless those things, but you set it into us that you are the number one thing in our heart. That while we can search for grades, while we can search for those things, God, I hope we put you first and foremost. That if there's anything in this world we can get, if we have you, that's enough. And God, that's a gift. And we're just so thankful for it. And so God, we just love you, we thank you. And in Jesus' name we all prayed and said, amen. Well, you guys are dismissed to head to small group. If you have no idea where you're going, Josh will tell you.